believe life teaches us two profound things. One, who we are, and two, who we are not. And subsequently, I believe these things teaches us what we want and what we don't. I'm Angel B. Winfrey, transformational speaker, self-awareness coach, and advocate. Self-awareness changed my life. It really awoken me to things that I could not see, what we call blind spots that I had in my life. And if it was not for me going through some different trials and tribulations in my life, I would not have had the self-awareness that I have today. So in case you're wondering, who is this person? Who is Angel B. Winfrey, and why is self-awareness her message? So self-awareness is my message because simply, I used to run from my problems. I used to consider myself a runner. I ran from my issues. I ran from my problems. I kept myself distracted because I did not have the strength to deal with my issues until it all came crumbling down on me and I had no choice but to sit in my issues and to deal with them. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people choose to do otherwise. A lot of people will continue to find other ways to distract themselves. They will continue to find other ways to just completely avoid whatever it is that they're dealing with. But I found the strength to sit in it. I found the strength to sit down and get to know myself inside and out. During this process of my life, so many things were uncovered about myself. I had hidden traumas. I had so much that I was avoiding. I had so many things that had happened in my life that I had buried so deep in my mind that I had forgot these things had even happened. And so life has a profound way of bringing these things up, right? And so instead of me running, as I stated, I decided to sit in it and face my issues. Now that I've come into self-awareness, I want to help you come into self-awareness. So how did I become self-aware? For many years, I ran from my problems. I ran from my issues by keeping myself distracted. I did not want to face any of my problems because, let's face it, I didn't know how to fix them. I didn't know how to fix them. And of course, you know, we're good at sweeping things under the rug that we just don't know how to cope with. And that's another thing. I didn't have coping mechanisms. I had to go through a season of my life where I had to learn how to cope with a lot of the things and a lot of the baggage that I had and trauma that I had in my life. Let's get into a little bit of my journey and how I discovered self-awareness for myself. Self-awareness for me came after a series of loss and grief. I had at some point gone through a divorce, and so I suffered from the grief of my divorce, the loss of my family. In addition to that, I'd had an abortion, and it was the first time I had an abortion, and that abortion nearly killed me. And so I suffered through the grief of that. And then I lost my best friend to cancer. And then I lost my mother to cancer. And then I lost my job. So everything around me just came falling down, crumbling down. And I know you've probably heard of the story Humpty Dumpty. Well, I applied myself to that story. And I always tell it this way. Angel B. Winfrey sat on a wall. Angel B. Winfrey had a great fall. All the king horsemen, all the king men tried to put Angel back together again. But God was the only entity that could help put me back together again, because all that was left of me after life had its way with me, after people had their way with me, there were just pieces. There were just remnants of me. I doubted my existence. I doubted my purpose. I just did not know who I was. But when my life crumbled and everything started to cave in on me, I didn't have a choice but to sit in it. There was no more room to run because I had a breakdown. And when you have a breakdown, there's nowhere to turn. There's nowhere to turn but inward, right? And so when I looked inside of myself, I didn't like the view. I did not like what I saw. And so I say to anyone, if you look inside of yourself and you don't like the view, that's a strong indication that you have work to do. And that's what I discovered about myself. When I looked over my life, when I looked at the woman that I had become, I knew that I had work to do because I had lost myself. I was now in the wilderness of my life and I had no direction for myself. Right now, there is someone who is probably doubting themselves. You're probably doubting your existence. You're probably doubting your purpose. But let me tell you from experience, that's not the right mindset to have. You can't stay in that pattern. You can't stay in that cycle of life. It will just continue to take you down a spiral. But I have something for you. I have a starting point for you. I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to just draw a line down the middle of that sheet of paper. On one side, I want you to write who I am. And on the other side, I want you to write who I am not. I want you to start very simple and ask yourself this question. Who am I not? And right now you may not be able to apply anything to that sheet of paper because I was asking myself, who am I? But I didn't have any answers. I didn't have any answers to that question. I probably would not have been going through what I went through if I knew who I was, right? So I had to start with asking myself, who am I not? And when I asked myself this question, I began to deal with things that truthfully I did not want to deal with. Start there. Start with who you know you are not. And then I want you to start paying attention to life. Pay attention to everything around you. Even pay attention to other people's lives because this is what's going to help you get more self-awareness about yourself. And I know we're supposed to mind our own business, but we also have the ability to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's what I want you to start doing. You can apply other people's mistakes to your life. Yes, you can. You don't have to learn the hard way like I did. You can actually use the life experiences of other people to learn what not to do for yourself. I'm Angel B. Winfrey, transformational speaker, self-awareness coach, and advocate. And may I say, your self-awareness coach and advocate. I am here to share my testimony and how I came into self-awareness because self-awareness really truly changed my life and I am here to help change yours. Listen, if you want to know more about yourself and more about your self-awareness, go to angelbwinfrey.com. There I have a free self-awareness assessment that you can take today. And while you're at it, feel free to download my 25 affirmations to self-awareness. This is your girl, Angel B. Winfrey, again, transformational speaker, self-awareness coach, and advocate. And may I say, your self-awareness coach and advocate. Peace, love, and self-awareness.